Hello, and welcome back to the Holistically Awakened podcast. I'm your host, Laurence, and today we are going to be creating a new story for yourself. So, oftentimes we can adopt these stories that are really not empowering or serving us, and we repeat these stories over and over and over again. This can be over a period of months to years to decades to even a lifetime. And we don't realize that it is creating our identity, but then also promoting behaviors that we might not like, or keeping us from actually doing things or being the type of person that we actually desire to be. So oftentimes we can say phrases like, oh, it's because I'm this, I'm lazy, or I'm that. I've always been like this. I've always been this way. I just don't know how to change, or this is who I am. Nothing's going to change. I always do this. Why does this always happen? All of these really disempowering phrases. And this is where we reinforce that identity. And this is where we can really go down this path of reinforcing these unconscious beliefs, identities about ourselves. And then at one point, we might not even realize that we're saying these things, we're thinking these things over and over and over again. And ultimately, they're not leading us to the result that we want. And they also can be very heavy and dense energies because when you say phrases like this, I want you to really notice what happens in your body. Do you contract? Do you expand? Do you sort of like, does it have a light feeling for you? Or does it feel heavy and it just feels more like this contraction and internally? So it's really important that we also notice like, how do the phrases feel in my body, the phrases that I say out loud or in my head? And this is going to be a big indicator of whether that is the truth for you or not. Oftentimes, we're just saying these lies that we've just been programmed to believe, and we've started to believe ourselves. And by repetition, that's what our subconscious mind will take on. So today, I really want to empower you to create a new story. So, first of all, really becoming aware of when you think these thoughts, when you say these out loud, start to have that awareness of having a pause. And even if you just have a pause and that's the only thing you do, that is a great first step because you're breaking the pattern. It is coming to your awareness, your conscious awareness. So it's no longer running the program. Then we really want to just start to think about who is the person that I want to be and what do they do? So this could be really any area of your life. Oftentimes we have like a specific area that we're really focusing on that we really want to improve. Maybe it's health for you, maybe it's career, maybe it's a relationship, and noticing what is your default in those areas. Do you tend to avoid and not look at those areas? Do you tend to be, overly controlling? We really want to look at like what are the behaviors that we do or don't do, and do the opposite, to be honest, because that's where we can start to reprogram our minds and bodies to a new reality and a new version of yourself. So instead of doing what you always do the opposite. And so again, it really starts with that awareness piece. But once you have that awareness, you can start to break that pattern. And this is where your stories will not be valid anymore because the best way to completely let go and not have any sort of power, not have any of these stories hold power over you, is to take action in complete opposite to them. And that also reinforces your confidence because you are reinforcing that, well, I did this thing. So that story is not relevant. I literally just did this thing. So action is very, very powerful when it comes to not allowing our beliefs to have that power and that influence over us anymore. So some examples could be maybe it's in regards to health and you usually skip the workout, hit snooze, or you order takeout at the end of the day. And you're not going to do that because your health is really important to you and you are somebody who makes it a priority. So maybe it looks like cooking your own meal tonight. and, prepping that in advance, or having a plan for what are the meals that you're going to eat. Maybe it's whatever it is, having an accountability buddy to meet you at the gym, or prepare your gym clothes the night before, put your alarm outside of the room so you have to go get it, and commit to being the one who goes to the gym. Maybe you are someone who is procrastinating on your business or building your brand or whatever it is, and you're not really putting your work out there, and you're just waiting for it to be better or more perfect, or you to be more ready. So maybe you literally just have to hit publish on the blog or the podcast or the video or the story on your Instagram or whatever it is. Maybe it's posting something on Facebook, literally just hitting publish. Maybe you're somebody who usually is the reserved one and you wait for others to come to you. Maybe you need to initiate and ask the person out, or maybe it's like a friend situation and be the one who makes the plans. Notice what is your default and do the opposite. These are just examples for different areas of life. Maybe oftentimes you say no and you stay in and you're more of a hermit vibe. But what would really help to expand you and help you grow outside of your comfort zone is to accept the invite, say yes. Or maybe you're the opposite, like you're always out. Maybe you're sort of getting into people-pleasing tendencies of always saying yes to people because you don't want to disappoint them, don't want to miss out. But maybe it actually would serve you if you said no more and you actually stayed in and took care of yourself, or whatever you had to do to take care of whatever issues or things that you usually don't have time for. Maybe it's that time to say no and have a chill night and take care of you, whatever that looks like. Maybe it's to go out more. Maybe it's to stay in more. Maybe it's to choose self-care instead of always asking everyone else how they're doing, responding to every message of how you can help everyone else, but you just put yourself on the back burner. Maybe this time you are choosing self-care and you're booking that thing. You are making that time for yourself. You're blocking it out. Maybe this could look like asking for help, because oftentimes you shy away from that or you avoid asking for help. You try to do it all by yourself. Maybe it would look like asking somebody for help. What would you normally do in any of the areas? I really want to focus specifically on the area that you really want to improve. So oftentimes, like I said, this can fall under health, career, or relationships. So notice like what, and oftentimes we can even see like our daily routines and habits. Where do you maybe get a little bit irritated about something that you do and you really wish that you didn't do that and you did something different? Do the different thing, do the opposite, and see what happens. Just for fun, let it be an experiment, because this doesn't need to be taken seriously. And when we do it from a place of experimentation, we release that pressure of this perfectionism and having to meet all of these expectations. So just let yourself off the hook of doing it perfectly and just play around with this. Stop letting your past, your actions, your habits define you by giving them power. They aren't you, and you get to decide who you are from this moment forward. And one of the best ways to do that is through actions. So today you get to create a new story. You don't have to keep holding on to these stories that you keep saying out loud, and you get to create new ones. And just allow yourself to play with this, because your life will be different when you start doing life differently, and it starts with you.